Hey everyone, my name is Wedge and welcome back to our Best of the Rest series where we talk about all of the cards from Guilds of Ravnica not spoiled individually. In case you missed it, we covered the rest of white and blue cards already, so here's a link for you. In this video, we're talking all things black, so sit back, relax, and hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. For me, thank you. Let's do this thing. Barrier of Bones is 1 black mana for a 0/3 skeleton wall with Defender. When enters the battlefield, surveil 1. Alright, so we're starting off with a slow control card. Barrier of Bones exists to get on the battlefield quickly, start your surveil machine, and protect you from an early onslaught. Dimir Surveil is going to be a relatively slow deck, and you're going to need to hide behind some beef. As ironic as it is, this wall of bones provides a decent amount of early game beef. Bartizan Bats is 4 mana for a 3/1 bat with flying. So here's the thing, 3 power in the air is a lot of power in the air. The problem is that it comes with nothing else, not even toughness. 4 mana, 1 toughness, no other ability than the evasion. This isn't a card you're going to want to play at all unlimited, but if you're desperate and looking at a late pack pick to fill out a curve, this could deal some damage above a grounded board state, maybe? Burglar Rat is 2 mana for a 1/1 rat. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. Oh, look at the cute little rat, it's so cute. Anyways, I love rats in Magic, not in real life, just to be clear, but definitely in Magic. This one is funny, it's only a 1/1, but a chump blocker, and messes with your opponent unless they're on some jump start deck or surveil or undergrowth. Actually, maybe don't play this in limited too much. Eek. Child of Night is back with amazing new artwork. Hot dang, look at that card! Child of Night is a strong mid-pack pick. 2 power and lifelink together for 2 mana is undeniably good. If you're in any kind of black deck, this is the type of creature that will give you value in the 2-drop slot. Play them all the time, gets down early and gets some life for you, great. Comes down late and gains some life in a critical moment, also great. It's a solid card. Deadweight is back! Nice! This is absolutely an early pack pick in limited. Deadweight is strong as removal, and it's strong as a way to reduce the power of something huge. Love seeing it back. Huge fan of this card, and you should be too. Dowser of Lights is 5 mana for a 4/5 horror. This is a vanilla creature, no real text, but it has 5 toughness. Obviously, this isn't going to be first picked ever, but I wanted to mention it because being a 4/5 has relevance in this upcoming limited format. Normally, we shy away from vanilla creatures in this range, but this card is just good enough to make it in a lot of black limited decks. It's not a card you prioritize, obviously, but this is a just fine filler for your deck as it dodges a boatload of removal and demands an answer. Hired Poisoner is 1 mana for a 1/1 human assassin with Death Touch. God, I hate Death Touch in limited. Hired Poisoner is playable because of that keyword. Death Touch makes everything relevant, and this Poisoner will take something bigger than itself down with it, or it will absorb a removal spell. A little 1 mana 1/1 is gonna wreak havoc. I hate it. I hate it so much. Just, Death Touch, why? Ugh. Crawl Swarm is 5 mana for a 4/1 insect warrior with flying. You can pay 3 and discard a card to return the swarm from your graveyard to your hand. Now, I would have liked this card so much more if it was returned to the battlefield, but that would probably be too good. 5 mana for a 4-power creature in the air is worth paying attention to, and that recursion ability does help fuel undergrowth and even jumpstart shenanigans. The combination of that and 4 power makes it an uncommon. Now, I don't hate this card, don't get me wrong, I'm not happy it has 1 toughness, but if it's going to have 1 toughness, I'm glad it has a relevant amount of power and a decent ability. This is limited playable, but nothing to freak out about. Mephitic Vapors is 3 mana for a sorcery. All creatures get -1/-1 till end of turn, surveil 2. I actually enjoyed this card a little bit. It is sorcery speed, so it's not like you can surprise your opponent in combat or anything, but waiting to use this until your second main phase after an intense combat step could prove strong. Personally, this will be a sideboard card for me more often than not against Boros or Selesnya, but the token killing plus surveil makes it relatively decent. Pilfering Imp is 1 mana for a 1/1 imp with flying. You can pay 2 mana, tap it, and sacrifice it to have target opponent reveal their hand. You choose a non-land card from it, that player discards that card. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. Oh man, I wanted to activate this at instant speed so badly. Bummer. Regardless, the imp is pretty strong for a 1-drop. The idea is that you drop this early and get some flying damage in, and then use the ability in the late game for more relevance, while feeding Undergrowth in your own graveyard. It's kind of a nice 1-2 punch there. Getting to choose the card too, also great. I actually enjoy this card. I'll probably end up playing it somewhere. Severed Strands is 2 mana for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast it, sacrifice a creature. You gain life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness, destroy target creature an opponent controls. You exchange 2 mana and a creature at sorcery speed to gain some life and remove something. This is obviously best used in a deck with expendable creatures, or creatures you want in the graveyard, probably for Undergrowth shenanigan nonsense. Severed Strands is removal, but it is conditional removal, and that can be scary. If you draw it when you're on an empty board, you might as well not have drawn it at all. The life gain is a nice touch to give you value for sacrificing something good, but the best way to use this is on a creature you want to recur, or would serve better in your yard, then destroy something big. It's definitely playable, but in the right deck, just for sure. Spinal Centipede is 3 mana for a 3/2 insect. When it dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. This is a fine card. This is absolutely playable. You're looking at a mid-pack pick for sure here. 3 mana for a 3-power creature that has value when it dies is more than we can ask of a lot of commons, and it'll feel Undergrowth. Spinal Centipede is playable in all black limited decks for sure, easily, no question. Undercity Necrolisk is 4 mana for a 3/3 zombie lizard, awesome creature type. You can pay 1 and sacrifice another creature to put a +1/+1 counter on the Necrolisk. It gains menace until end of turn, activate only as a sorcery. Wow, this is a great card. 4 mana for a 3/3 with an easy pump ability is great. You're obviously looking to play this in a Graveyard Matters deck where you can fuel your yard with the Necrolisk, grow it huge, and smash in for a bunch thanks to the pseudo-evasion that Menace provides. Solid uncommon, wouldn't play it in anything that doesn't have Undergrowth, just to be clear, but solid in that deck. Veiled Shade is 3 mana for a 2/2 Shade. You can pay 2 mana, and it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. This card right here, this card is a late game mana sink if I've ever seen one. It isn't that buff to start. 2/2 for 3 is nothing great, but as the game rolls on, the potential power grows. This is a card that can come down early and be a fine blocker, or come down late and break a board stall to win the game. It's another great filler card for any black limited deck, with the added benefit of getting nuts in the late game. It's definitely playable. Vicious Rumors is 1 mana for a sorcery. It deals 1 damage to each opponent. Each opponent discards a card, then puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. You gain 1 life. As already pointed out, this is hilarious in Two-Headed Giant. Double discard and damage, ow. In a normal game of Magic, this is 1 mana to deal 1, force a discard of 1, a mill of 1, and you gain 1 life. I don't know why, but I like this card a lot. I'm not even sure if it's playable in Limited. I honestly have no idea with this, but I want to try it. Discarding can help fuel a lot of mechanics in the set, but for some reason, I can't get away from doing all of this for 1 mana. Just come back to me later. And that's going to do it for the rest of the black cards in Guilds of Ravnica. What are you thinking about the color? Do you think it came to play this time around? Personally, I think we're looking at a lot of cards that synergize with the mechanics in the set. In case you didn't notice, we mentioned Undergrowth a lot, and I think that's a fair assessment. I think a bunch of the neutral black cards are supporting Undergrowth in a big way, and that's important to notice going into the pre-release where you get to choose a guild. If you pick Golgari, at least you know that black is going to support you even outside of the guild pack. Interesting thought. Anyhow, be sure to let me know what you think in the comments and we'll talk about it. And be sure to stay tuned for the rest of the Best of the Rest series coming at you real soon. And as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCGplayer.com. Guilds of Ravnica boxes are still pre-ordering for $91 each. I don't know how many times I'm going to talk about this, but clearly I haven't stopped yet, so just Pre-order the boxes, fam! If you don't have a local game store or yours charges way too much, here it is, a handy-dandy link for you to click that will give you great prices on boxes, cheaper than most anywhere else, with great service, and it helps the channel out. That's a win-win-win, win-win-win by my calculation. Sounds like an easy choice to me. Enjoy. I don't know why I do that, because I'm not on screen. But man, it's fun.